folks? What's up? Jonathan Stewart here. 17 Days Audits America. 17 days investigations. So what we're about to see here is an officer from Pointe Coupee Parish violate a gentleman's rights while sitting in his car speaking to the doctor, in which he just removed his own daughter from the dentist's office because they tried to force a mask on his daughter. And instead of escalating, he de-escalated and just removed his daughter. He did previously film that interaction, and he was on the phone with the doctor and wanted to film the interaction with the officer who he knew was outside his door. However, the officer didn't go and speak to the the person in which the call came from, which was the doctor's office first, to find his reasonable articulated suspicion, to even inquire, to walk up to this gentleman's car. And what you're about to see is the opening of his door without his permission and without legal right to do so, because without reasonable articulated suspicion of a crime, you can't ask anybody anything. You can't ask them their name, you can't ask them nothing, especially when they're in a public parking lot. And the man was on the phone with the doctor in the doctor's office. So all of this is going to ensue because of the caller having an escalated emotional explanation that's going to provocate the officer to not do his job correctly, violate this gentleman's rights, and lo and behold, in the end, you'll see he'll simply give the driver's license back and say, well, are you about to leave? You can go ahead and go. Well, if I'm free to leave, I'm free to stay, which automatically proves that this officer violated this person's rights. And I am 100% certain that he did not speak or go back into the doctor's office to speak on this gentleman's rights that he had, inquire about the video, CCTV camera, or anything of the sort to justify opening one's car door, demanding ID, and then stating a lot of facts such as officer safety, I want to go home to my family, all this other good garbage, when this man wasn't even breaking the law. So we're going to call him until you hear his name and his badge number on the video, in which I'd love for you to call and report. We need to file a complaint on this officer because we're going to make an example out of him, because there's many good officers out there, and it's stuff like this that makes it bad for the good officers. So for a little fun, because that's what we do here at 17, we're all about education, officer. So we want you to, turn that thing around. And we're not talking about you, because, for fun purposes, we're going to call him Jellyroll. Watch Jellyroll violate the rights. Watch Jellyroll derelict officer safety. Watch Jellyroll not find any reasonable articulated suspicion of a crime. Why is Jellyroll a cop? Here we go. Wake up, folks.
Working out an appointment with my daughter right now, sir.
That's fine.
Okay.
Like I said,
Yeah, I'm waiting on a phone call.
if you want to come in there and do whatever you got to do, you have to wear a mask.
We'll find out. We'll find out. The CEO is about to call me, sir.
That's fine.
They don't know that my daughter is medically exempt, so.
Like I said, I don't know nothing about it.
Okay.
I got to call.
They don't either. You can't just walk up to a child and start putting a mask on them.
Boom! And the officer just screwed up big time right here, saying you have to wear a mask. Renee Thibodeau, do you remember how you said you weren't going to be the mask police? How come you're all of a sudden teaching your officers to be the mask police now? Did you change your mind? Did you change your mind?
Face like that.
I'm not going to window for you to put it down for my safety and your safety.
I was on the phone with the dentist, sir.
Make sure you didn't have any weapons.
To make sure I have no weapons, I'm in a public facility waiting on a dentist appointment, speaking to the dentist.
Okay, and I got a call stating that you were very aggressive. I came over here and I couldn't window you.
Everything's recorded, sir. Very aggressive. What?
Okay,
What you need?
Do you have your ID?
Sure. I'll show you my ID. Since Louisiana is a stop and identify state.
Yes, but it still requires reasonable articulated suspicion. So now this is the one part in the video that the gentleman did not have to give up his ID, but you can see if you were trained properly as an officer, because like I've said, he didn't even go in to speak to the caller, review the CCTV. He's going off an emotional basis to violate someone's rights here. And again, you're not the mask police because you can't force anyone to restrict their airflow, no matter what.
Right here, sir.
4-1 dispatch.
4-1.
Copy 26.
Can I ask why you're running my...
Louisiana Class Delta 630-6082.
Right here, this is a violation of rights. You have no right to ask for someone's driver's license or even open the door to their car sitting in a public parking spot. By the way, talking to the doctor, who you should have went seen first because the call came from the doctor's office. Officer Jellyroll.
06082. Well, like I said, I got a call that you were very aggressive about not wearing a mask. She said she pointed your vehicle out.
Okay, but
When I
Do you hear yourself, Jellyroll? Very aggressive about wearing a mask. Again, if you would have did that training and went in to find your reasonable articulated suspicion through investigation, you would come to find out that that's not true. Therefore, he has not committed a crime. And Jellyroll, you can't ask him for anything.
when I 630-6082. Class Delta. Like I said, I got a call that you were very aggressive. She pointed your vehicle out. I walked up to the vehicle. I knocked on the window multiple times before you started recording.
So the only investigation you did, Jellyroll, is she pointed your vehicle out. You got the call from dispatch, and that was done. All the reason for you to violate rights, demand an ID, open someone's door, boy. Looks like that qualified immunity's out the window, Jellyroll.
yes, sir. I was going to try to record before I started speaking with you so that I can document everything.
That's fine, but for my safety and your safety,
You just opened my
I
door.
opened your door. Because I
So
know-
for your safety, you just screwed up, Officer Jellyroll. You don't open somebody's door unless you have the RAS, reasonable articulated suspicion of a crime to do such, then detain, then acquire driver's license. You dummy. You're a tyrant, you're being taught by a tyrant, and you're a dummy.
you had a weapon.
So you got a call that I'm threatening with a gun or
Like I said,
stabbing someone or hollering or
that
breaking
you were
things?
that you were very aggressive.
Okay, so I have your word saying that someone in there made a false statement against me.
Whether it's false or not, I don't know that.
Okay, it's false.
I just got on scene. I'm not a lawyer.
Yes, sir.
I'm not a judge. It's not what
I
I'm here.
refuse to...
Then he admits, whether it's false or not, I don't know. See, that's where you screwed up, Jellyroll. You don't know. That's how you don't know how to do your job. You don't understand training. You don't understand amendment rights in the Constitution, apparently. But we're going to make you understand. Because now the complaints are going to come into the department, and we're going to get that information at the end of this video, folks.
A mask to go in, so I stayed inside. But then they went and put a mask on my daughter while she was inside, and that's whenever I stopped and said, "No, I'm not. I do not concede to that. You can. She has a medical condition, first of all." So no, I wasn't aggressive, sir. I was.
Jason Gustav Lambert, out of Morganza, expires 4/2023. Status found.
Temporal. Like I said, I have nothing to do with that. I got a call
Okay,
that
sir.
state you were
I
very
understand. I
aggressive.
don't appreciate you walking and just opening my door on me like that. That kind of scared me.
Well, I don't appreciate you not rolling the window down when I know.
Dude, no one has to roll the window down, Jellyroll. No one has to do what you say, Jellyroll. You're not the arbitrator of one's body in a public place or anything that they do. See, if you can do that to this man, that means you can walk up to anyone on a public sidewalk and ask them questions that they don't have to answer, Jellyroll. You see, there's some ants beneath your feet. You don't have the authority, Jellyroll, to tell the ants to move.
Sir,
I don't know if you have a weapon.
sir, you knocked one time and then opened my door.
I knocked 2 times. You look at me and you look back down. I don't know what you have by your foot. Cops dying every day. I'm going home to my kids. I open your door because I don't know what you have by your leg.
Cops are dying every day, Jellyroll, because of what you're doing right now. When you violate somebody's rights, because it's a person like you, Jellyroll, that's demanding ID over reasonable articulated nothings based on a mask mandate that's not a law. No one can restrict you from breathing, you dumbass. You're a dumbass. So you're going to be the guy that's going to hold down one's child while they stab it because you think it's all right to force mandate things on people. You're going to get a big wake-up call here pretty soon, Jelly Roll. And by the way, the donut shops are going to get closed down when they shut us down, when y'all try to lock us down. So how you going to get your fucking donuts, Jelly?
Okay, well,
Like I said, for your safety and my safety, since you want to put this on record this.
well, I'm recording.
Because you want to put this on record. You know what that is? It's called a threat, Jelly Roll. You don't like being recorded violating somebody's rights because that's exactly what you're doing. That's why in the end of the video, folks, he walks off and says, well, you're free to leave. Well, if he was free to leave, he's free to stay, and he was free to do all the things he was doing. You're the one who violated one's rights. Jelly Roll. Here we go.
For my safety, like you keep saying.
Okay,
Yes,
for
sir.
your safety and my safety, I opened the door because I don't know what you have by you.
What's your badge number, sir?
I'm PC 401 Corporal David Martin.
Okay. Thank you. You've been very professional so far.
If you have any complaints or concerns, call 694-3737. Speak to my captain.
I don't have no complaints. I don't appreciate you opening my door, but I understand. So you didn't do anything from there. You didn't get aggressive with me. So
I wasn't trying to be aggressive.
yes, I understand.
Like I said,
I think it's
door.
kind of.
You automatically were aggressive. You escalated the situation, sir. It's just by God's grace that this man had his camera phone on, because I'm going to tell you now, if it wasn't, this officer would have escalated it further, and this gentleman who did not violate a law or commit a crime would have been in cuffs.
My rights, though. This is my property, and you can't just come bang on the door and open it
I
like
can't
that.
if I got a call stating that you're
No,
aggressive.
no, you
If I'm
can't.
not gonna-
No, you can't. This gentleman was correct. This officer is incorrect. No, sir, Jelly Roll, you cannot just walk up to people's cars and open their doors because someone pointed to you and said, oh, he was aggressive in here. They didn't tell you what they did to his daughter. See, you didn't even care about the child at all. You cared about the call so that you could find a way to get somebody in cuffs. You're trying to rank up at your little place. Don't play Freemason games, Jelly Roll, because we're not going to put up with that shit. You can suffocate yourself with that N99 and put 13 more N99s behind it and jab your fat ass with all the jabs you want. But you're not going to enforce tyrannical mandates that are not law, and you're definitely not going to violate people's rights in this town. You understand that, Jelly Roll?
So for you to roll it down and you look down, I don't know what you have by your feet.
Then you have the right to.
No one knows what's behind anybody's feet in their fucking car when they're not committing a crime. That means you can walk up to any car you want at any time, Jelly Roll, and pop the door open and say, oh, look, there's a gun, and pull a gun and shoot somebody, and that's how people get shot and killed. That's how cops get killed, and that's how good cops lose, because of dumb motherfuckers like you. You need to go out the department, because I can tell you're just doing this job for a steady paycheck, Jelly Roll. Quit playing games with people's rights, boy.
To my car and open my door.
Yes, I do.
Okay, we'll find out.
All right, like I said.
No, you don't, Jelly Roll. You're about to find out you never had a right to open that man's door, and now you're screwed. Qualified immunity gone. Pow, pow, pow. You're going to have phone calls coming in about old Jelly Roll. And keep sending these cops over, people. I'm pretty sure you're going to see some cops violating people's rights over their trespassing orders from mask mandates and all this. Look, we all know you got to follow it because you won't get the money from John Bell Edwards. And we don't care what John Bell Edwards says. You ain't the boss. You understand? You can't destroy my rights based on a medical emergency that doesn't exist. Y'all can't even explain the data because you're too dumb to understand it. Or maybe you understand it and you keep everybody else dumb, like this Jelly Roll here. You need to cut it out, Jelly Roll. Go back to school.
3737, Captain Mormon or Lieutenant.
694-3737, folks.
I'm gonna speak to my lawyer, not the captain. Yes.
Let's get that one more time, folks.
All right, like I said, if you have
We'll
a
find
complaint,
out.
694-3737, Captain Mormon or Lieutenant. They're up there right now.
Well, I'm gonna speak to my lawyer, not
You
the
call your
captain.
lawyer, too?
Yes.
There
Yes.
you go.
Thank you, sir. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Oh, you can go.
Okay.
You're leaving the premises or you staying?
I'm working out an appointment with my daughter right now, sir.
All right, that's fine.
Okay.
Like I said,
Yeah, I'm waiting on a phone
they
call.
said if
So,
you want to come in there and do whatever you got to do, you have to wear a mask.
we'll
No,
find
you
out.
don't.
We'll find out. The CEO's about to call me, sir.
That's fine.
They don't know that my daughter is medically exempt. So,
Like I said, I don't know nothing about that.
And see, that's what's the problem. You want to enforce these things, but you don't know nothing about them. See, per HIPAA law, you don't even have the right to ask someone to put a mask on if they have an exemption. You inform people to get exemptions so they can have that ability, so they cannot be, in some fashion through your little tyrannical mandate, not forced to wear this apparatus, which would make their underlying condition worse. But yet, you don't know. So what are you doing, Jelly Roll? You shouldn't even be talking to anybody about a mask, Jelly Roll. And you don't have the right to enforce it. I hope you folks see what's going on here. Things are changing. Your sheriff is not with the people, because these are tyrannical movements that we've seen all over the nation, and we're not going to stand for it. So Jelly Roll, you need to get it together, buddy. Wake up, people.